For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. President Donald Trump is backtracking off his $4.5 trillion tax cut plan for the wealthy, and in an about-face wrote on social media he'd support a tax on the rich. Quote, the problem with even a tiny tax increase for the rich, which I and all others would graciously accept in order to help the lower and middle income workers, is the radical left Democrat lunatics would go around screaming, read my lips, unquote. He went on to write, Republicans should probably not do it, but I'm okay if they do. Media reports say Trump has floated the idea of raising taxes on those who make $2.5 million or more each year. The sudden about-face comes amidst mounting opposition to his current tax plan, which Republicans are pursuing. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says their proposals would result in millions of Americans losing health insurance due to cuts to Medicaid to offset lost revenue from tax cuts. The groups Mom Rising and other social service providers staged a 24-hour vigil against proposed cuts on the Capitol that wrapped up Thursday, with people reading testimonies of the impacts on the most vulnerable. Here's some of them.
Jennifer, I have a 22-year-old son with autism. He would no longer be able to live independently or receive the level of direct service provider supports that he requires.
Allie from New Bern, North Carolina. As a pediatric hospice nurse, children I care for on Medicaid are the only ones who are consistently able to receive life-prolonging treatments.
Medicaid gives her that ability to be part of her school community and gives schools the ability to support children like Vivian with disabilities so they can learn.
Thursday, Democrats also spoke out against the cuts. Moderate Republicans are now voicing skepticism of the plan as well. President Trump continues to target officials he deems adversarial. Days after calling for expulsion of Democrats who supported his impeachment, Trump's Department of Justice and the FBI have launched an investigation into New York Attorney General Letitia James for mortgage fraud, allegedly falsifying a loan application for a house in Virginia, where she said she planned to live in it full-time, which would unlock a lower interest rate. James said it was a mistake and clarified that to the agent. In another loan application, she said she did not intend to live in Virginia. James prosecuted Trump on election fraud charges which led to a $450 million fine for Trump. James has called the investigation into her political retribution. At an event with other attorneys general fighting the Trump administration's attack on government, James fired back.
This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side, and the one institution that has stood by our side is the courts. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
New York Attorney General Letitia James. Israel's relentless bombing of Gaza continues with more than a dozen Palestinians killed today. A new group of American security contractors, ex-military officers, and humanitarian aid officials are proposing to take over the distribution of food and other supplies in Gaza based on plans similar to ones designed by Israel. The United Nations and aid groups have rejected Israel's moves to control aid distribution. It staged a blockade of aid and food from entering Gaza, now in its third month. Independent Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders blasted the blockade Thursday, speaking on the Senate floor, calling it a war crime.
Starving children to death as a weapon of war is a clear violation of the Geneva Convention, the Foreign Assistance Act, and basic human decency. Civilized people do not starve children to death. What is going on right now in Gaza is a war crime.
As Rami Amagari reports from Gaza, nearly 50 children have starved to death since Israel's blockade.
Hospitals are seeing dozens of cases of child malnutrition daily. Dr. Raghib El-Agha is the chief of malnutrition in the Digestive System Department at the RNTC Pediatrics Hospital in Gaza City.
The cases we follow up here at the RNTC hospital are those in the early years of life. They all suffer from severe shortage of immunity and weight. In many cases, we receive children with severe infections due to malnutrition. Sometimes the children are dying from malnutrition.
Food supplies continue to dwindle. For Pacifica Radio, I am Rami Al-Mighari in Gaza.
Indian and Pakistani soldiers have exchanged heavy volleys of shells and gunfire across their frontier in Kashmir, killing at least 5 civilians in a growing military standoff. The first U.S.-born Pope Leo XIV says his election is both a cross to bear and a blessing as he celebrates his first Mass as the head of the Catholic Church and its more than 1 billion followers. I'm Christina Onnested reporting for Pacifica Radio.